welcome to my vitamin D walk talk. I think I'm going to start calling these vitamin D park talks because I'm not really walking so much with these talks anymore, but you get the point. I'm outside, I'm getting my vitamin D. Today I am getting 67 IUs a minute. It's interesting because I've tracked vitamin D almost for an entire year now, and it's stronger in some times of the year, and it's starting to get a little bit weaker now, so I got to make sure I get outside. I am going to be doing some blood work really soon, so I definitely want to make sure that I am getting outside every single day and I'm getting that vitamin D exposure on my skin, because if you don't go outside every day, if not every other day, it starts to decline. It starts to decline a lot. And I don't take a vitamin D supplement. I actually muscle test my body and I ask my body, is this good for me? And every single time I test it and ask my body, it says no. So I don't take supplement because my body doesn't want it. So hopefully getting outside, it's gonna help me a lot more, and my blood work is gonna be a lot better than it was this time last year. So we will see, and I'm definitely gonna be doing a blood work review, comparing my blood work from the past and kind of see how it got better over the years as I've been trying to do. I've done a lot of stuff this year. I've done a lot of things to kind of improve my health this past year. So I'm curious, like, has it worked? Has my blood work changed? Has it gotten better? And it's also going to be my 3-year vegan mark. So I'm going to be pulling even deeper blood work. So I'm going to really dig in and look at my zinc. I'm going to look at my iodine. I'm going to look at my B12, the MMA. I'm going to look a lot deeper than I was before. So really curious to see, okay, where is my nutrients at? Where's my nutrition at as a vegan? Like, am I doing okay? Am I healthy? So that is coming soon once I get that all scheduled. But wanted to pop on here and kind of go over the very end of my juice fast. I know kind of rainbows and sunshines in my last 2 videos about my juice fast. This one is not that way at all. So I experienced the downside of the juicing fast over the weekend. It was a difficult weekend for me, to say the least. So I basically I did 4 days total with the juice fast, and then about 11 o'clock at lunchtime 5 days total, duh. So I did Monday through Friday. So at Friday around 11, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start introducing food into my body. And when you come on and off of a juice fast, you need to do it with fruit. And I did. But I was also very curious, because I was doing this as an experiment to see, okay, what if I loaded a little bit heavier than I should? What happens? Well, now I can tell my clients, do not ever do that. So basically, the first thing that I ate coming off of it was some kiwis, and I did great with the kiwis. I did really good. It was interesting because I ate the kiwis and I'm like, okay, I want some more food. I want some more fiber. I want some more of that. And I actually had to go about an hour and a half. I had to drive to a community and I had to work out there for about an hour and then go back to my home after that. So I had a smoothie with me. So as I was driving along to my hour and a half to drive, it was bananas, it was mangoes, it was a bunch of fruit that was in there, just kind of a bunch of fruit mixed together. It was a pretty thick smoothie. So I was driving and I'm just like, oh, okay, I can feel my stomach like turning, like, hey, there's food in my stomach now. And it's just kind of turning and making noise and like not pain, didn't hurt, not sickness, but just like, woo, it's working, something's in there, like, okay, there's fiber in there. So I'm driving and I'm like, this is not very comfortable to do this driving. And then I work in construction, so I'm walking a construction site, and the only bathrooms on this site are porta potties, and it's also 98 degrees out there. So I'm just like, oh boy, this is not a good place to be right now. So my stomach's just kind of turning, and I'm just like, oh no, I'm gonna have a soft stool, oh boy. So I can just kind of feel it happening. So do my work, get back to my house, and go to the bathroom. Okay, what can I eat for dinner? So I kind of wanted to introduce a little bit more. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep it simple. I did a raw vegan soup. So I did a raw summer squash soup, which has a lot of hemp seeds in it. It's got about a half a cup of hemp seeds, so it was a lot of fat. And the juice fast, I was not eating any fiber or any fat, really, any higher fat. So introducing this fat was probably not a good idea for me to do. And then I also went to Mother's and I got these like raw vegan chocolate things, and they were just like coconut oil, so a little bit more fat in that as well. Probably not the best idea. Definitely not the best idea. So I was kind of like, okay. So I'm feeling it turning. It's just like not okay. And I'm like, oh man. So I go to bed kind of early. I wake up at like 3 a.m. just like sick, like super sick, like my stomach, I'm just diarrhea. I actually got nauseous. I threw up a little bit. It was just all the soup. Like, I think I was just so hungry. Like, I ate a lot of the soup. I ended up eating the whole thing and it was a lot. So it was just too much food. I definitely should have kept the meal a lot smaller, I was starving. I was so hungry. So I was just like, I want to eat this. I want to eat this. So I'm just like, oh boy. So starting Saturday off, I had a workout and I'm still kind of nauseous. My stomach doesn't feel good, but I drank some orange juice. I ate some watermelon. I feel great on fruit. Fruit is fine. Doing the fruit was totally fine. I probably should have stayed on fruit. But I was so sick of cooking and prepping my food and doing all that. On the weekends, I like to eat out. So I'm just like, okay, what can I do? How can I do this with my body? And one of the good things about where I live is I live in the mecca of really good vegan food. So I went to this place called Vibe, and they have bowls, like bowls that you can get with quinoa or greens or this or that. So I got a lettuce bowl with like, it had lentils on it, it had some butternut squash, it had some kimchi, it had some kind of different things in it, avocado, better. I did great with that. I did 100% great with that. And some sweet potato, I think it was in there too. Totally fine with that, and it was great. So then I'm like, okay, I'm back. So then yesterday I had kind of my regular, I had my fruit, and then I think I had some pho for dinner because I wanted to kind of see how that felt, and I felt great. So now I'm finally back to it. But Friday, Saturday, I felt like crap, and I'm just like, what can I eat? Like I can't eat anything heavy, like, oh my gosh, and like, it was a little bit difficult. So I think going into this now, if I were to do it again, I would also have a plan for coming off of it, because I had a plan going into it and I didn't have that plan for coming out of it. What do I need to be eating? What is my 2 or 3 day meal plans? I also think that the next one that I do, if I do it anytime soon, it's not going to be a 5 day, it's going to be a 3 day, so then I don't have all that stomach, because you guys, it was uncomfortable. It was so uncomfortable to just feel stomach sick and have your stomach just twisting and turning, and the diarrhea, just constant liquid poop. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But I finally have some solid stools now, so it's great and it's back to normal. But wow. So I learned a lot. I didn't really lose any weight. That wasn't the goal of it. I did get a lot of my wrist pain out. I actually did a sled push yesterday that was really heavy. It was probably close to 100 pounds. I was pushing the sled, and that would be a moment that I would have wrist pain. And I was sitting there doing it. I'm like, this is something that would definitely bring me wrist pain. And it didn't. And it was actually fine. I actually also had a plate push where I had to put my hand on the plate and push the plate, and the plate was about 55 pounds, so that didn't hurt either. And I'm just like, yeah, no more wrist pain. So the goal of getting rid of the inflammation and the pain in my wrist, that actually worked. But also the goal of me tracking it and doing all of the recipes and figuring out what we should do, that worked as well, because I have everything documented to help other people and help clients. So now I know going into it, when I do work with people, I do work with clients, they want to do juice fasting, I know exactly what to tell them, like exactly what to tell them, because now I've done it. So for me personally, I don't think I'm gonna jump into it anytime soon. I love eating fruit. I love eating the fiber. I love my smoothies. I love just eating the whole fruits. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna continue on this raw path. I actually have a whole raw vegan day planned today. Tonight I'm gonna be making a Turkish salad with Mediterranean falafel. And it's a recipe that I learned at the Woodstock Fruit Festival. And it's super easy. There's no cooking, it's just mixing. And that's so easy. I love it. It's so easy. It's so much easier than chopping and washing and juicing and doing all the stuff you have to do. Choosing was it was a lot. It was a lot. So I'm glad that it's over, and I'm glad that I'm back to watermelons, I'm back to all the fruits, and it's great. So wanted to update you guys on that, because this was kind of the negative side of it, but still not really that negative. It was just a little bit of stomach sicknesses. Still, yeah, juicing journey number 1 was success.